Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Armand back again for E equals MCU, and we have some breaking news that just broke in regards to Scarlett Johansson. And it seems as though Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus. Yes, I cannot believe this. Well, actually, I can believe this, but this is a pretty big deal, man. This is broken by the Wall Street Journal. So, word in these internet streets, Black Widow's dead in the MCU, and our Scarlett Johansson's gonna be dead to Disney. So let's talk about it, man. According to the Wall Street Journal, Scarlett Johansson, star of the latest Marvel movie Black Widow, filed a lawsuit on Thursday in Los Angeles Superior Court against Disney, alleging that her contract was breached when the media giant released her film on Disney Plus streaming service at the same time as its theatrical debut. Ms. Johansson said in the suit that her agreement with Disney Marvel Entertainment guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release, and her salary was based in large part on the box office performance of the film. Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of the agreement without justification in order to prevent Ms. Johansson from realizing her full benefit of her bargain with Marvel. And this is what the suit said. So let's just kind of go into that part of it for a second here. So to clarify, she's suing Disney, not necessarily Marvel. Now, the reason why that is because if you guys remember back in December, when the streaming service thing started with Premier Access, I believe it wasn't Bob Iger, it was the new Bob Chapek. He said that there was a specific department in Disney that would determine what movies would go to streaming. So what this did is this took the power out of Kevin Feige's hands to control how his movies were going to be released. So I'm sure it probably was not in his intention to do so as far as releasing the movie that way. But it does sound like they did not renegotiate her contract, and I can see why she would be pissed about that, because a lot of times they're getting back end points, especially with her being a producer on this. I think this is the first Marvel movie she's been able to be a producer on, like same with Loki. And a lot of the money that she would get from that movie was going to be based on the box office return, which in my opinion, this is going to happen a lot more often. A lot of actors are going to have to get with the program, and then based on how business was done prior, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits against a lot of companies because things are just going to go to streaming. And you have older contracts. This is the kind of the problem they're going to have, because there's a certain expectation with it. And if they had just released it in movie theaters, it wouldn't even have done the 300 plus million that it did. So but let's go on. Let's see, the suit could be bellwether for the entertainment industry. Major media companies are prioritizing their streaming services in pursuit of growth and are increasingly putting their high value content on these platforms. Those changes have significant financial implications for actors and producers who want to ensure the growth in streaming doesn't come at their expense. This will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has a legal obligation to honor its contracts. And this is from the attorney, from Ms. Johansson's attorney. Disney began releasing movies simultaneously in Disney Plus and theaters because of COVID pandemic, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. It does go in here to say that the AT&T had a similar problem when they guaranteed all of their movies to be released on HBO Max. So, yes, we know about, we do know that they were getting sued from multiple creators as well for breach of contract. So that may be an issue. Now, since the decision to put this movie on Disney Plus is projected to cost Ms. Johansson more than $50 million, a person familiar with the details of her contract said this. Even before the pandemic, Ms. Johansson was concerned that Black Widow could end up on Disney Plus as part of the wide release in 2019. Representatives reached out to Marvel seeking assurance that Black Widow would be a theatrical release only. In March of 2019, email included a suit from Marvel Chief Counsel Dave Galluzzi. He said that we understand that Should the plan change, we would need to discuss this with you and come to an understanding, as the deal is based on a series of very large box office bonuses. This is all hearsay, and this is not in the contract. So even if he did say that, he's wrong for breaking his promise. But at the end of the day, Disney is ruthless, and they're gonna go by the contract, which it could come back to bite them. But I'm not sure. It sounds like this is like things were changing, and the contract may not specify. They're gonna try to wiggle their way out of this. During the July 9 opening weekend, Black Widow grossed $80 million at the domestic box office, $78 million overseas, and generated another $60 million on Disney Premier Access. Internally, some execs at Disney worried that an at-home release would tarnish the overall appeal of the Marvel brand, which has produced the biggest offerings in Hollywood over the past several years. Guys, just to add on to this, Hollywood's in trouble because Disney is the gold premiere and they're struggling. Like, Black Widow's the lowest grossing Marvel movie to date because of this. I don't think it would have been if things were normal, but because of this, it is. It says Disney Marvel Studios has unprecedented success in modern day Hollywood, releasing 24 titles that regularly collect more than $1 billion globally in ticket sales. The movies in turn activate a cycle of revenue from toy sales, theme park attractions. Yes, it's all connected, we know. As the franchise has grown, it has become a magnet for big stars who sign up to portray heroes and villains of the Marvel movies and shows. And that's all that's gonna let me read here. But yeah, guys, this is pretty big. This is a big deal because a lot of the Marvel actors, when they signed their deals, this was all pre-pandemic. And I believe as of recently, Kevin Feige did come out and say that they weren't looking to sign long contracts like that anymore, like the deal that Bucky got, or Sebastian Stan, I think it was like 9 pictures, and Samuel Jackson got like 9 pictures with an additional 3, I believe, he signed on for. So they're probably going to get away with that because we are in, unprecedented times, and they don't know what they're going to be able to do or how they're going to be able to do it or when they can do it. I mean, before this all kind of came out, this is the reason why they delayed it from last year and did not just come out in the movie theaters. You think about it, it really sucks for Scarlett Johansson because this movie was already 6 years too late. She shouldn't have to even deal with this part of it, but because of politics and things at Marvel, before Kevin Feige could gain control of it, she, couldn't have a movie on the docket. So then she was in a bunch of other movies, and then she was booked up. This was the first time she had a chance to actually shoot the movie that should have came out last year. And now going forward, man, it's going to be interesting to see what Shang-Chi does because, Shang-Chi it's going to be a theatrical only, but man, by the time we get to September, who knows? It could come in at record lows, and then Disney. It's almost in Disney's best interest if this lawsuit holds up to just release them in movie theaters, no matter how many theaters are open or what's going on, and make their little $5 at the movie theater that they're gonna make. And then the problem, look, and I'm gonna just say this too: like the people who work at Disney, they're smart people, okay? They have tried to figure out the Premier Access thing and how they wanted to do it. Me personally, in my opinion, I don't understand why they charged a $30 price point to unlock it on Disney Premier Access. So let me explain. A $30 price point to some is going to seem high, especially if you're a single person and you go to the movies and you can get a $6 ticket or $8 ticket, or if you live in a bigger city, you're probably paying like $12 to $15 a ticket. Realistically, that's still, you're going to look at it like the $30. Most people are not going to look at it like, I know for me personally, like me and my girlfriend go and we're getting student tickets or cheaper tickets or whatnot, and we still end up spending about $30 at the theater because by the time you get popcorn and pop, and if you want any kind of candy, that's how much you're gonna spend. So for me, especially now having a family, watching it at home on Premier Access was a good deal. That $30 didn't bother me, but I think it bothered a lot of people. What I don't understand, and with Marvel movies especially, there's a repeat viewing value that those have. They should have released it on Disney Plus, but it should have only had a 24-hour or 48-hour window, and they should have just charged like $5. and then every time you want to watch it, it's $5, and then you'll repeat watch it as much as you want to. Now they still have a problem because they have people who have multiple accounts on Disney Plus because they allow people to share, which, you know, we all know Disney is greedy. How long is that going to last? They need to, if they really want to make this money and keep Hollywood going, they're going to have to crack down on that somehow, and they're going to have to get this together, and they're going to have to do 24 48 hour views to actually view the movie on the streaming service, and then when they want to release it 45 or 60 days later for free, you know, they can do that, and then they can let you buy it and own it. But doing it the way they're doing it now, they're messing up their paywall and their pay window, and a lot of people may not want to hear that. As fans, we don't want to hear, you know, you don't want to hear that, but at the end of the day, this is business. You got to look at the budgets of these movies, and if you want this to continue, you don't want that quality to drop off. They have to be able to make the money that they need to make, and you know, yeah, they could cut down on spending, but everything's going to suffer because of it. I'm honestly starting to think this could be the beginning of the end, especially with this Delta variant out there, because if things get to that point again, they're not going to have the luxury of having the theaters. And then it's just like, you know, you're going to if actors are going to sue the studios, the studios is going to just start releasing it and fulfilling their contract, and the numbers are going to be crappy. So think about it. If her contract says she gets a certain percentage of the box office, you release it in theaters and fulfill your contract, and it's only opening in 100 theaters or whatever the case is, and you bring home, you know, less than $10 million for the opening weekend, as opposed to making $100 million that you would have made, what do you think she's going to get paid? It's like she was screwed either way, and especially specifically for her, she was screwed just anyways, just because this is way past her time. Like, she had the audience, you know, her character's already died in MCU. She's already had her character you know, gone, and I don't know. I feel bad for her. I guess she's got to do what she's got to do, but man, this is major. This has major implications. This is like the domino that's pushing the other dominoes, and the rest of this year is going to be very interesting. Spider-Man No Way Home, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. But hey, man, that's the breaking news. That's the story. That's what I got for you. Let me know down in the comment section how you feel about this. You think she's justified? You think she's right? You think they should just have settled and just paid her the money she thought she was going to make? You know, they're all kind of operating at a loss right now, but we'll have to see, man. But let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about it. And that's all I got. I'm out.